triggers the NFC. So I assume Android Pay would be fine if I just use this area here. So that's cool. I was really worried about that because on the Note 7, I had the metal piece right here, and NFC is right around here, right in the middle of the phone. So that's kind of a difference in the two, where the NFC is placed. So Samsung Pay and whatnot would be down here, whereas this seems to be up here. And also another interesting, unique thing I've noticed in my observation, which I have never seen or heard about in other reviews and whatnot, is the camera bump. Obviously, I've heard that there's no camera bump, and to some that's a big deal. For me, it will be I guess a nice feature later when I stop using case. What happens is I usually use a phone in a case for about a year, and then when I kind of feel like I'm getting tired of the phone and feel like I need to change it up with it, I'll just take the case off, and you know, it's almost like from a hardware standpoint, the phone is like brand new to me. It's like I'm using. I don't necessarily get a new case. I just take the case off and then use the phone bare like this. So it feels like smaller and lighter, and it feels like a kind of a new, fresh experience. But what I was getting at is that the Google Pixel actually is designed as a wedge. So it's not just that they were able to get rid of the camera bump. They did it by creating a wedge design where the top here, you notice that like on the Note 7, let me move the case. If you notice here, the Note 7 has a camera bump. It's very small, but it's still a camera bump where, you know, it doesn't lay flat flush as the Pixel does. Which is nice, you know. I don't have as much issue with camera bump, again, because I use cases, and cases tend to cancel out the camera bump. But the interesting design factor in here with the Pixel XL, and I assume the Pixel, the regular Pixel, is that if you look at it, it's a very slight wedge where the top part is thicker than the bottom part, and I really like that design. I appreciate that design. It shows that, you know, just Google is considering design aesthetics and just trying to make it more like a more streamlined design, despite the fact the stupid fact that this Pixel XL is not really waterproof, which kind of stupid. Like, if you're gonna go through the trouble of design things like that, you might as well make this phone waterproof. I just don't understand why they didn't make it fully waterproof, which another feature I'm really gonna miss from the Note 7, the idea that it's completely waterproof. And I took some slow motion in a pool with my first Note 7, not this one, and I was really impressed how clear and clean and fun it was to take a video underwater with the phone. Which I wouldn't I'm kind of again, I'm a tech freak. I like to, it's either I really abuse my tech or I really kind of take care of my tech, or like protect my tech to a point of kind of being too protective of it. Like, I save battery as much as I can, and I try to put cases and screen protectors all over my tech. And then, like, at some point, I just really abuse my phones and just use it till it's beaten down and dead. That said, again, I'm gonna miss the waterproofing. The Google Pixel is not waterproof, but again, from a design perspective, you can see how they got rid of that camera bump by placing the camera way at the top as opposed to in the middle here. Which I don't necessarily mind. I haven't shot enough pictures with it to really see if that bothers me. But this is the thickest part of the phone in this wedge, so obviously they were able to get rid of that camera bump. So actually, I'm just going to put these cases aside as I go forward. So the other thing in terms of design, I just think the Note 7 is such a better design. It's so much more sleek, so much more interesting, so much more smooth. But other than that, like especially like the screen real estate is maximized on the, is like you literally cannot make the screen any bigger on the Note 7, whereas on the Pixel XL, what is this? Like, I've obviously, a lot of people have complaining about this. They call it the chin of the phone, and that was one of my biggest complaints about the iPhone all the way through, is this big chin. But at least the iPhone, you have the big home button there, and that's it. But Note 7, you have the home button, and then you have all these back and multitask buttons to work with. So it's like not really wasted real estate. Pixel, you're wasting your screen real estate for these buttons, these software keys. What is, there's nothing here. Like there's no reason for all this dead space. So I really don't like that. It just really bothers the hell out of me. It bothered me on the iPhone, but at least they have a home button there. Put a second home button. That's the other thing, is I really like this home button. It really feels natural to stick my finger on there to unlock the phone, and it's just a piece of glass. So I'm not actually physically pushing a button so much. And it unlocks great. The thing I don't like about the Note 7 is to unlock it, the always on screen is great. I use it all the time. I'm really gonna miss the always on screen. But in order to unlock it, I actually have to push the home button. It's a physical push button, and then rest my thumb or finger on there, and it'll unlock. I've come to feel that that's a very primitive way to do it. Obviously, you can use the power button too, but any kind of button clicking feels just primitive to me now. Whereas on the Pixel, you just put your finger on there, unlocks. You don't even see your home screen, like your lock screen, which is kind of, I don't know. I don't mind losing the lock screen. I really don't care. The only reason I've used the lock screen is because I would check the time or something on it. But in the case of like the Note 7, always on screen, I don't need to go to the lock screen to see the time. I could just skip the lock screen altogether in this case. On the Pixel, I can go to the lock screen, but if there was a second fingerprint scanner right here that was just as functional, I wouldn't need the lock screen either in that setup. So I just don't understand like why this space is wasted. And the fact that when I mounted my car with the magnetic mount, I obviously can't reach the fingerprint scanner once my phone is mounted in my car, and I don't have any option to use the fingerprint scanner right here with my thumb, so I have to actually physically push this power button, which I really never used even on my Note 7 when it's mounted in my car. I would always push the home button to access the phone to power it up. So that's a real annoyance. Like it doesn't make sense. So I'm desperate to find a way, maybe like some sensor or something where I can wave my hand and the phone will unlock. But I highly doubt it for security reasons or whatever. It's probably not going to happen. There's probably nothing like that available. So I'm kind of bummed that I have to put up with that kind of design flaw, I guess you could say, or missing something that didn't feel like it was thought through. So I think this video is getting longer than it needs to be. So I'm finally getting to the point where I am fairly comfortable with getting my Pixel all set up. Obviously it's not 100%, it's still early. I've only had it for less than 24 hours. So as you can see, I have this very specific setup where I design my home pages as kind of my app launchers. in regards to very specific things I do in terms of like writing. Office would be my media production work, and the home page would be kind of my personal schedule stuff, and then I would have activities would be kind of like shopping and things like that. So I did have a driving page, which is this now, which I kind of integrated with activities, because the issue I have with the Google Android experience, as opposed to this is, again, I'll say it's Nova Launcher. I use Nova Launcher, not TouchWiz. And also, I should mention, while I'm on Nova Launcher, I think Nova Launcher is also an issue with some of the hiccups I have on the Note 7 performance, which I'll explain a little bit more. But if I go to my system settings page, you go to system monitor, and you look at what is eating up a lot of your memory and memory processes, it's Nova Launcher is like up there. Actually, it's actually not that bad today, right now. But Nova Launcher seems to eat up a lot of resources in regards to the phone. So I've been having issues with the Note 7 hanging up. It's ridiculous. Like you spend close to $1,000 on a phone, and granted, I am installing tons and tons of apps. I use lots of apps, sorry to say, but the Note 7 just has been really hanging up on